Greetings, y'all. It's your Pereira, and welcome back to another Golf Stories podcast. I'm, of course, joined here by PGA Tour caddy, Derell. Derell, what's this, episode 20 now, I think? I think we've gotten to the second decade.
I mean, like I said, it's been great. You know, we're always figuring out a way to get it done, which is, I think, on us both. It's a great thing because it's always hard because sometimes some weeks are more hectic than others, and this one definitely is. But we're here and we're going to get after it and talk our golf.
Yes, indeed. We probably a touch later than we usually release it, but I think we're going to get done this evening as Wednesday. So yeah. We're going to get it done. And of course, I don't know if we talked about this last week, but you are caddying.
I'm caddying on the Corn Ferry. This is going to be my second week with Grayson Murray. So last week we tied for fourth, and it was a great start. Lost by 3, and obviously, you know, in a span of 4 days, you could always count 3 shots, but it's all good. It's definitely great to get those juices flowing again, and hopefully try to get him going. And again, Grayson, very talented player, so good to be back on the saddle.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, no, I was cheering for you guys. I've definitely fallen along as much as possible, and man, tied fourth is a solid start. I know you got a 4-week journey ahead here.
Yeah, so we're here in Chicago this week and go to Raleigh next week for his home event, and we're going to do the U.S. Open qualifying in Maryland. So obviously, if he gets through there, we would take that 4th week off that we would do 4 in a row, and then rest up to U.S. Open. So that's the big goal, and definitely, like I said, he's hot, and so just trying to ride the hot hand. And like I said, let's do it.
Yes, indeed. Trending in the right direction. I know you had a tied 13th in Mexico. PGA Tour tied 4th. So y'all keep them in your thoughts and prayers, I guess you would say. Continue that hot streak. Yeah. As far as me, I did play a little golf over the weekend. You know, typical, with my brother and dad. But also got traveled to Dallas on Monday and played a little tournament for the company. Shout out CSRS.
Good.
Yeah. They flew me out to this tournament, the RHCA Classic. It's a little scramble. Great event. We got lucky. It didn't rain. It was misting a little bit, but we got it in, and man, it was a fun event. Food, alcohol, of course, involved. But the golf itself was really fun. Man, my game was, I tell you what, in those scrambles, it's just a change of mindset. Maybe I need to somehow get my mindset in my individual game like that. Because when I'm doing a scramble, man, I want to birdie every hole. And
right.
And sure enough, there was a stretch where I went we used probably about 80% of my shots, but this stretch we used all my shots. It was like 5 under in 5 holes, and it was like birdie, par, eagle, birdie. And so whatever that is, whatever that mindset is, I need to get into it, because I mean, I felt the juices flowing in that instant. But what an event, man! We finished, I think, 5th overall, and I did get longest drive. So there's some hardware to take home and something to put on the desk for the folks to see. And also shout out to Mike Dobbins, for those who know that name. Long drive champ back in 2007. He was there for on the tee box, kind of hitting some balls and helping out with donations and things like that. Got his signature and just got to meet him. So that was just a cool thing for those who remember the Remax long drive that used to be on ESPN. So that was really cool. You remember Mike Dobbins at all, or any of that?
I've seen that. I wasn't really watching it as much, but yeah, definitely like a little bit. But again, it's golf for me started really, in high school, because I was always, my love for football and basketball. Playoff basketball is going on right now. I definitely catching a lot of that. So it's a good time of year right now.
Yes, indeed. Lots of sports going on, and of course, a big major event happened on the PGA Tour, the PGA Championship. As you can see, I'm still on the 18th hole at Southern Hills. That's 07 version of Tiger. What are your thoughts? Justin Thomas getting that second major, man.
I mean, obviously, I didn't get to catch as much as I really wanted to, because I thought I was going to catch a lot more than I was. Mm-hmm. it was definitely a lot more busier week last week for me in Kansas City than I thought I was going to be in. And again, with, my guy having a chance, it was definitely trying to, focus and locking in there. But I definitely, after the round, we were able to go find somewhere to eat and watch that whole ending. And it's with Mito and everything. Like it was at the end of the day, honestly, and that's what I like about the majors is the guys that are playing amazing are there. Like that leaderboard wasn't really a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's what I loved about it. Like the guys that are playing well, like the Cameron Young and the Will Zalatoris and Justin Thomas and even Mito. Like I think even for me, like a lot of people might not know who he is, but he's always been, something hidden a little bit that needs to be shown. And so I think that is not by accident. What he was doing there, he just wasn't able to close it out and just, put himself in position, because that guy has won 3 times to get to the PGA Tour. So he was able to get that Battlefield promotion. Mm-hmm. So he is a good player. And again, if most people don't realize that, they could just look at some of his stats. And again, I wasn't surprised because I know he's a solid player.
Yeah, I picked him in a Zurich. So I mean, but he pulled out. So
at the end of the day, Justin Thomas, well deserving, playing really hot right now, and he just has the grit on those majors. So again, I feel like once you have the taste of majors and put yourself in there in contention, you're just gonna when in that moment again, he's just gonna basically in kill mode. So
yep. Yeah. No, and
I enjoyed it though.
Yeah,
like I said,
it was a fun tournament. I caught it pretty much as we were waiting for our luggage in the airport. We caught the whole playoff, my coworker and I, and yeah, that was a thrilling finish. Man, Mito Pereira, that's a la 2006 Phil there. I mean, with that double bogey on the last, not even getting into the playoffs. I mean, and he left his birdie putt on 17 like an inch short. Like he went from having a 2-shot lead to not even in a playoff in a 20-minute span. That's just gut wrenching. But yeah, no, terrific player, Battlefield promotion, certainly deserving to be there on the tour and really where he's at. I mean, on top of a major and damn near winning it. So not a surprise for either of us to see him up there. Just a shame that he couldn't at least get into the playoff and have that experience going forward. So he's gonna have to get over some scar tissue. But yeah, Justin Thomas had a slight inkling he was due. He's been playing good. Hasn't won recently, but he was kind of due, plus that second major, because he's one of the guys that's won enough to where like, okay, you need to start getting your next major and whatnot.
Right.
Sure enough, he gets it done here. Will Zalatoris, definitely a big shout out. I don't think he can he hangs his head at all. 17, 18, he made some gutty putts. And even in the playoff, he didn't lose it. Justin Thomas just made birdie on the first 2 holes, and sure enough could have made birdie on that last if he really focused in on trying to make that last putt. So I mean, there's nothing he can hang his head on. Cameron Young, another shout out. I mean, that dude's great. 3 runner-ups and a bunch of other top 10 finishes. He's
elite.
We got to start putting him in our bucket. Maybe we can get him.
He's elite.
Yeah. A lot of. I mean, that was one of the more interesting things is seeing the guys, some of the best players without a win, being in contention there. Matt Fitzpatrick, another one. It's just it was such an interesting little thing right there that I guess because of the weather and the course setup, and it just kind of set up that way where those kind of guys were getting up there. And it's not like they've just coming out of nowhere. They're playing well. So
no, right. I mean, getting into the PGA field is a big deal. So like I said, there's no slouches, I guess, if you were to use that word. Like nobody there is. People that are there are well deserving.
Yes, indeed. Our picks, unfortunately, middle of the pack again. But any comments on them, or I guess, or your boy Rory or Tiger? I know Tiger at least made the cut, grinded it out.
Yeah. Well, I think these next, I think leading into, the British Open, we'll see how, Tiger is, but I think the British Open would definitely be a better suit for him overall. Again, I just hope he takes care of himself, and like I said, I definitely want to see him do well. So we'll see. I think these next couple weeks, will do a lot of good for him with rest and rehab and all that stuff that he needs to do. And like I said, I look forward to seeing him tee it up next. But I'm glad again he made the cut. So it's definitely there still. It's just all the other, I don't know if you want to call it minor things, but I think, like I said, these next couple weeks we'll see how things go.
Yeah, I mean it stinks. I mean, look, the players, the Masters, and this one all had like a weather day where it got really cold.
Right.
You know, and especially for Tiger, and a healthy body, that's tough to deal with. But Tiger with, you know, basically a broken leg and a bad back, you know, that's
still making cuts.
Yeah, and he's still making cuts. So this, like we've been saying, the skill's still there. It's a matter of the reps and, you know, the stamina of making it through all that.
Right.
And we all obviously wish him the best. I hope he tees it up in the U.S. Open. I don't know how hilly the country club is, but obviously St. Andrews flat as can be in the Open Championship. So
yeah, I think that one would be his more, you know, fitting one for him if he were to decide to even skip the U.S. Open. So we'll see how it goes. Right. Definitely a lot of news and a lot of speculation in these next couple of weeks with not only Tiger majors, you know, LIV. Like I said, this summer is going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, it's starting to really turn up. Your boy Rory was up there for a while, man. Any thoughts on that?
I don't know. I think I need another week to digest about Rory. I think I'll definitely have more comments next week on just how I feel on where he is moving forward. But again, obviously not a surprise to see him there early. I just think there's just this little thing of him closing it out that he's been struggling with. So I don't know if it's a mental thing or if he has a two-way miss, you know, towards pressure or whatever it may be. But definitely next week I'll, you know, have a little bit more time, just kind of like, you know, think about where I am with Rory. But with Dustin, you know, definitely disappointed me. I figured this was just a place that he could eat alive, and definitely that didn't happen.
Yeah, and likewise with me with Spieth. I thought, you know, I mean, Scheffler missed the cut, and he loves this course.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
it is what it is. Weird, but all good.
Yeah, and it's understandable with Rory. I mean, he will be back. We know he'll probably win another one soon enough. But you know, he's clearly frustrated. He didn't even speak with the media, you know, after Sunday there. And you know, we get it. You're a competitor, man, and you've been playing so good.
Yeah.
It's not getting it done in the big events, but you know, he's the best in his generation. But anyway, well, congrats, Justin Thomas again, 15th win, second major. And we'll go ahead and shift the gears here to this next week. We got the Charles Schwab Challenge here in Fort Worth, Texas. I just left there, and they have, you know, the wall champions. There's also Hogan's Alley. I was actually just reading. I didn't know that they called this and Riviera Hogan's Alley. So interesting little fact there. But yeah, what do you know about Colonial? Not the longest course in the world, but very tree lined and straight arrow that is needed here.
Love that place. Love. I think based on my career, it definitely has a little bit of a soft spot, as I've been in 2 final groups on the PGA Tour, and this was one of them. So obviously the final group in the RSM Classic, and I was in the final group here in 2019 with Mackenzie when we were paired with Kevin Na. So obviously when you're in the final group, it's a big deal. And like I said, I've only been in the final group twice. And so obviously when you're in the final group, you have a chance. And so definitely love this place. Strategic. You got to know how to be, you know, how to tactically attack this place. So I love it, you know, because it's not long. Certain holes give you a struggle to where, you know, you got to lay back, even though you'll have a little bit further. It's just something that you got to sacrifice that, you know, you'll have a little bit further to make for on this hole. Even though, you know, you could probably hit driver and get a little close, but then driver, there's a lot of trouble there. So there's a lot of things like that, and it gets windy there. So having to, you know, pick a right club and all that stuff, it comes into play. And the wind definitely is the defense there, because it gets tricky with the tree line, and again around the greens is very tricky. So definitely love that golf course, and have like I said, soft spot because I've been in 2 final groups, and this is one of them.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, it's an old school course, I guess you would categorize it. You can't just bomb it around. You definitely have to be, like you said, strategic. It's interesting that Jason Kokra, I consider him more of a bomber, but I guess versatile at his game a little bit. He won here last year being
Yeah.
but usually the winners reflect that, accurate strategic player and one that can really strike it with the irons. And
I mean, if you look at the past champions, like a guy like, Kevin Kisner, not very long, Kevin Na, not very long, they win here. So that's the beauty of this place, is that technically everybody's in play.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. So, I mean, it's 7,200 still. I mean, it's not, I don't know if they tip it out or not, but I mean, it's still, pretty decently long, but I mean, I guess short for tour standards. And especially since you're laying back anyway on a lot of these, probably.
Yeah, you're laying back, and then again, it's hard to judge the rough because the rough flyer, not flyer, and with the wind. So it's like I said, it's definitely a place where you got to be mentally strong when it comes to game planning and thinking and stuff like that.
Yeah. In 2019, what I guess what was the end result?
If I had I think we ended up finishing tied for 8th.
Okay.
Yeah, just not a good Sunday, and definitely we talked about it. It was just, I think there was a lot that came with being paired with Kevin Na. There's a lot. I think we kind of, I think we came in there just a little bit excited to be in there in that position, and we kind of we were like basically second fiddle. We were basically, the feeling after looking back at it is we were just basically trying to get out of Kevin Na's way to basically let him win. If that makes any sense. I think we weren't there to be like, you know what, like, we're in the final group, we're gonna do our thing, you do your own thing. Like, I think it was more like, hey, we want to do whatever it takes to not be in your way.
Right. No,
I think that's kind of the aura that, when I reflect back at it, definitely was. And when things don't go as well, it's hard to really feel like, okay, let's get it going, because obviously we're doing a lot of good things leading up to there, because you just don't get into final groups if you weren't doing a lot of good things. Right. So at the end of the day, it was a learning thing, and all good.
Yeah. No, I totally get what you mean. I think that's actually one of the interesting things in golf, when you kind of step up in competition, so to speak, and you're playing with the guy and you don't want to get in his way, but really you should just be focusing on your game. But we're all guilty of it. I mean, even in like the smallest tournaments, you playing against the head honcho of your tour, and you're like, oh man, and you just get starstruck. But I mean, they're great learning experiences for sure. And that's something that I think a lot of golfers can relate to. So I think it's just a very interesting thing with us golfers that we do. We get it in our minds when we should just be focusing on our game. It's
without a doubt.
Yes, indeed.
Easier said than done. All good.
Yeah.
Love that place though. Love that. Again, if there's a tournament to watch, it's definitely that one. Like I said, I love. I'll again, with how it goes this week, I definitely am gonna pay a lot of attention to this golf tournament.
Yeah, they got some unique stretch. They got the horrible horseshoe. They got that 13th hole with the water in front. Lots of just classic holes on this golf course. I think it's time to jump into the picks.
Let's do this thing. You want me to start it off?
Yeah, let's hear it. Dark horse.
Let's go. It's gonna be a pretty dark horse, and I'm just gonna ride with it. Like I said, I'm gonna go 200-1 based on CBS. I'm gonna go Bo Hostler.
Oh, okay.
Bo Hostler, Texas boy. He knows this type of grass, and he's actually, he struggled last week, but he's just been trending in the right direction. I think, again, this is a place where he can kind of, be strategic, and I think he's that type of player. I think he knows how to, plot golf courses well, and so I'm going with Bo Hostler.
I like it. Bo knows. Yeah, he's been kind of an interesting year. It's been kind of hot and cold.
Yeah.
Like he's had some really high finishes. I've definitely seen him up there. And then the other times I sometimes see him like dead last.
He's off the planet. So yeah, I'm going to try to take him this week and kind of see where that rides me.
Yeah. The last, I don't think Byron Nelson, but the Valero, he was in contention. So maybe good vibes coming from that. I don't know. But yeah.
Like I said, Texas, let's see how it rides.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, I didn't 200 to 1's pretty. I guess. There's some high odds and there's some 500 to 1. I don't think I've ever seen this high for the CBS odds, but I think Bohosser is a solid dark horse. As far as for me, I'm going to go a little bit higher. I'm going to go with 125 to 1. Former U.S. Open champion, Mr. Lucas G. Lover. Lucas Glover, yes, indeed. Interesting enough, he doesn't play with the gloves. That's always
Yeah.
but
Ball striker.
hell of a ball striker, as you like to say, ball striking Jesse.
Yes, exactly. Love it.
Yeah,
and he is, and like I said, this place definitely is going to help that.
Yeah, he's got that little like whiplash swing. I love it.
Yeah.
Of course, everyone knows also his putting isn't his strongest suit, but the John Deere last year he was running hot with the little arm lock putter. So I think he still got it with the arm lock putter, and I know he played pretty solid at the PGA during that one rough draw day. He was the one to come out earlier and play well. So I like it the way he's trending. He won last year. He's a vet. Obviously, he's won a major and just a tour vet. Yeah. And I guess he's a Southern boy. He's from South Carolina and whatnot. And, it's in the South, I guess. So familiar with the environment and whatnot. So I'm going to go Lucas Glover.
Love it. Solid and actually a good dude. I've been around Lucas and just a good dude. No big time, and just, we'll have a conversation with you. So definitely, brownie points on that part of the spectrum as well.
That's good.
My contender, I'm gonna go past Champ. I mentioned him earlier. He's just, like I said, I think he's just gritty. I'm gonna go 80 to 1 Kevin Kisner.
Wow.
Kevin Kisner. I feel like it's been kind of quiet lately with Kevin Kisner, and I think at the end of the day, he's always gonna, figure out a way to shine. And I think we're ready to see. In Texas, he's done well in Texas, so I'll take it. Kevin Kisner, 80 to 1.
That's interesting that he's 80 to 1. I guess, that's reflective of his year. It's been kind of quiet.
Yeah, and great value though for the type of player, and so I'm going 80 to 1 Kevin Kisner.
Yeah, man, he's won here. We know he's steady Eddie. He's always up there. He's got a few wins now under his belt, so he's a fan favorite. So all things point in the right direction for Kevin Kisner this week. I like it a lot. Yeah, I don't know what else to say to that. He's a good pick. For me, I was eyeing. There's a bunch of people at 50 to 1 that I'm just eyeing, and I almost just want to throw a dart at one of them and just see where it lands. So I'm gonna say shout out, but I'm not gonna pick them. Shout out to Chris Kirk. He finished 5th last week. He's won here. Shout out to Kevin Na. He's won here. But I'm gonna split the difference between. I'm gonna go Harold Varner III. Hasn't won
HV3.
Yeah, but he contended here. I think back in 2020.
The COVID year.
He came out. I think this was the second tournament or first tournament out.
I think this was the first tournament out.
Yeah, and he had the lead there. I think in 36 holes or something like that.
Yeah.
And very similar to like Harbortown in the sense that strategic.
Yeah.
He'd be a ball striker, which he is. Just needs to make a few more putts, man. Far too many times I see him hit it to 7-8 feet and just not convert. And you just need to make them one or two of them. He doesn't really need to make them all. Just make a couple of them, just to steady the ship in this sense each round.
And we'll be good to go.
Yeah, exactly. So I think he likes his place, and I think HB3. It's time, man. It's time to get that first dub.
Love it. HB3. And again, another thing, very good dude. So love that.
In those points for you.
For my winner, I'm just gonna go with Texas guy himself at 14 to 1, Jordan Spieth.
There it is.
I think he's just been trending, and it's just hard. I don't care how his swing looks. He's gritty. He gets things done. He, not only that, but him and his caddy plot golf course. This strategy and how they talk about it. Like every shot, there's a meaning, and I think this is the type of place. Again, you need a lot of that. So again, when you look at it, same thing. Kisner and his guy, they have a lot of conversations. Kevin Na and his guy have a lot of conversations. So this is a place where it gets very tricky that you need to have that trust with, player caddy.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, no, of course, I love Spieth. I picked him last week. I'm all here. I'm all here for a Spieth-assance. I mean,
Yeah.
last year he got that was similar to like Cal Sutton, slowly rising. But I really think either whether it's this year or next, I mean, I think he's going to get back to multiple wins each year and getting back to a major tally adding. So yeah, I love Jordan Spieth. I mean, he might be a little fatigued, but he loves golf, so maybe he could push through it. As far as my pick, you raise me Jordan Spieth, I'll raise you Colin Morikawa. One. Man, he's been quiet this year as far as this season. Yeah, he hasn't won, which is kind of interesting, but he's always there, seemingly, or at least they always show him because he's one of the young stars in the game. Basically, stealing the career that I wish I had, man. Two majors. Right. I wish a lot of people had 2 majors, PGA Tour wins, friends with Tiger. I mean, shoot, he's Asian American, so yeah, pretty much just living my life that vicariously through him, But yeah, young stud, ball striking Jesse. This is a place where he finished second. If it weren't for that little missed putt, it would have continued that playoff with D Berger. But yeah, I think it's time for him to get back to his winning ways. 16-1. He's not the favorite actually. Scheffler is in the field. He's 10-1. But yeah, Colin Morikawa.
Again, it's always hard to bet against Scotty Scheffler and the mini vacation I guess he's been having.
Yeah, he's losing his form, I guess. Whatever. But four wins still in 9 tries for Scheffler.
Very good.
But yeah, Morikawa for me is my winner. Interesting, Justin Thomas is in the field. He's second favorite, 12-1. But yeah, I think those are some good picks in our bucket. Eventually, this streak will end. That's all I can say.
We're gonna end. Like I said, we've been grinding on this all year. Mm-hmm. So all year we're gonna get it done. So we're just gonna keep going. Just like anything, golf. It's golf. You just plug away at it.
Yeah.
Week by week, day by day.
Look, it's gonna come when we least expect it. So I'm not gonna even put anything on it. Those are our picks. I think they're good, and we'll just go with it.
For sure.
Anything else as far as Colonial or Fort Worth or this event? What do they do special?
The one thing that I will say that there's 2 events that valet for the caddies, and it's this one and Wells Fargo. So this week you valet for the caddies, and they've been pretty good this week. That like they give you a ticket, and you scan the ticket when you're ready. Like you basically can text the ticket, like basically 15-20 minutes before you're going to pick up your car, so you can be prepared. So you basically text the number, and so by the time you get to the car in 15-20 minutes, it should be there waiting for you.
Damn.
So that's they have a system there that's pretty good. Wells Fargo system isn't like that. It's basically when you get there, but this one it's pretty good where you can kind of gauge 15-20 minutes, and not only do they caddy, it's for everybody. Mm-hmm. So players and caddies are on that same system. So everybody's in one this week. So it's pretty nice.
Dope, man. Yeah, I mean it's nice to be taken care of once in a while,
Yeah, definitely. As much as I like valet, the only downside is sometimes I do like to get to the parking lot, before and just whether it's catch up on news or check up on messages. So the one thing that I've done personally when I've gone there is there's a Starbucks about a mile away, and so then I'll get all my stuff done there. And when I'm really ready to get out of the car, I'll drive and go to the golf course.
Yeah, no, that's a cool thing that they do for y'all over there.
Yeah,
Schwab. And yeah, it's always seems like a classy tournament. Fort Worth just came from there. It's a good town, good city, big town.
No, it's like I said, it's a good spot.
Yeah. But yeah, that is the Charles Schwab Challenge. Oh yeah, and one thing they do give away cars or something like that. I know Kevin Na got one, and I know Jason Kokrat got a big old truck last year when he won. So that's one other cool thing that they do at this tournament. So is it the last? I think it's the last Texas tournament for the year. I think so.
Yeah, it is.
Season, I guess you would say.
Yeah, season. Yeah.
So, Texas is going to bid us a goodbye, but it's been always classy in Texas. Everything's bigger in Texas, as they say. So, yeah, looking forward to it. Good always talking with you, Derell. This is episode.
Always.
Yes, indeed. Any last things?
Definitely, again, just try to get things going, and we'll see how it goes over here also in Chicago on the the lower end.
Yes, indeed. Let's get that dub. Let's get a W.
I know. Let's do this.
Yeah. So looking forward to that too. But yeah, folks at home, you audience members, you know what to do. Comment below who you think is going to win or whatever it is. I don't know. Maybe what kind of truck or car you would want if you won this tournament. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment below. Your words mean something to us.